welcome to Lafayette, Louisiana, home to the Ragin' Cajuns of the University of Louisiana and the site of the clash we have in store for you today. What we have in store today, a clash between a pair of AAC squads. As we'll see a team looking for its first win, the Western Michigan Broncos, taking on a squad hoping to prevent another L this week, the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. The Ragin' Cajuns will kick it away to start. He'll start the return inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So Western Michigan's offense will get the first crack at it here. When this guy comes onto the field, David, he seems to bring the it factor with him.
So much fun as a play caller to have a guy you depend on, you trust. You know, Palmer, you're going to get the best out of this young man.
He's also one of those guys, David, who just elevates everybody else around him, right? All 10 guys in that huddle offensively just seem to play better knowing they've got confidence in this guy.
And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line.
This offense already in the black zone, a little bit backed up. How do they want to respond? They come out to throw the football, be aggressive, and this defense was ready, and they got pressure on the quarterback and got a sack on the very first snap.
And he was loose and in the open field and on his way. A tremendous pickup on that one. With a first down, they'll snap it from the 32. He's looking to throw it. Grabbed in the middle. It's Peace. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be second and just a few breaths away from the first down. And they'll come to the line just needing a few chain links for a first down. Flushed out of the pocket. They finally corral him, but he turns that into a big gain and a first down.
Sometimes these guys just have eyes in the back of their head. You saw it right there. He was able to buy himself time, get outside the pocket, and at that point, I think the decision was pretty easy. Hey, I can go get this with my feet. And he was able to do that. Now they got a fresh set of downs.
Strong pass rush gets to the quarterback, and they get him at the 46.
And come on now, O-line. Got to take care of your quarterback. He takes care of you. He's the one who takes you to meals. He's the one that gets you those NIL deals. Everything happens through your quarterback. You got to keep him upright. That is your #1 priority.
Well, the offensive line had everybody blocked except the defensive end. He was able to sneak into the backfield and get the tackle for once.
On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. Wide open downfield. Touchdown Broncos! And once he got loose, it was all over.
Really nice job working the route and getting himself open. And he was able to locate the football, snag it out of the air, and this guy now has 5 receiving touchdowns on the year.
And the extra point was good as they finished the drive. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. The kickoff bounces through the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 25. The Ragin' Cajuns offense will try to get something started with their first possession. And if these two guys wind up getting matched up, David, we'll see what wins, speed or force.
Yeah, and you love to be physical and set the tone, and this linebacker does that consistently. Now, Jesse, keeping up with the speed on the other side, that's a different animal.
Going for a big play right off the bat. Oh, he dropped it, and what a missed opportunity early in this football game. After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10 from their own 25. Hands it off. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
How about the defender being a heat-seeking missile? He was on radar lock. He found the football and flew down with some bat.
Lost one deep down the right side. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down. And the Ragin' Cajuns will call on their punt team. First time we've seen their punt team this afternoon. He'll be content with the field position, making the fair catch right around the 30-yard line. The Western Michigan offense ready to go back to work. Jesse looking to take it down the field for back-to-back touchdowns.
I think it's really important for them moving forward, too, to have a lot of balance, right? You want to be able to keep this defense guessing, Pop.
Yeah, and you got me searching for answers after that last drive. You stack another drive on top of this, their defense's heads are going to be spinning all over the place.
Got a man, it's Sims. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. After the short completion, it's now second down. The back goes in motion. On second down, they'll take to the air. Got his man in the middle. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down. They have work in front of them on third and short from the 42. They'll try to move the chains on the ground. Putting together a real scoring threat here as they pick up the first down at the 36. The Broncos are moving quickly down the field. Trying to find his man on first down. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. Now on second down. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. They line up, and it is a long way to the sticks from here. On third and long, he has to throw for it. Gets it out fast. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. And here comes the field goal unit. Knocked it right through, showing that big range from 48 yards out. So after the made field goal, they'll kick it away and rely on their defense.
Louisiana, 0.
And they desperately wanted to attempt a return, but decided not to. Instead, they'll take the touchback. Louisiana has it back, and the Ragin' Cajun offense headed to the field. Last time, David, it was 1-2-3 kick.
That last drive, that 3 and out, sometimes that puts your defense in a bad spot, and you got to get a drive together here so you don't wear the
The expressway is wide open. A huge gain on that one before he ran out of bounds, and he has the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Quick release by the QB. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5.
I love offenses and quarterbacks that are willing to take the easy stuff. Take those easy throws that are guaranteed to get positive yards. Yeah, I'm going to take big shots down the field too. But don't forget, it's easier to pick up 2nd and 5, 3rd and 5 than it is when we start getting those long yardage situations.
Well, give the defense credit because they're forcing this quarterback to throw into very small windows under duress.
In the gun and looking to throw on third down. Complete. He works his way inside the 30 down to the 29 and picks up a first down. Third down, a lot of times it comes down to not necessarily who's the most open, who do you trust the most.
Yeah, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmys and the Joes. And when my guy's better than you and I get you matched up out wide and I know I trust you, I'm finding you.
Keeps the legs moving. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is.
Hold it, open.
We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. Line gets set, first down. Wants to pass. Makes the catch. It's Pena. And they get him down.
This guy's done a lot of good things early this year throwing the football. With that last completion, that now takes him over 1,000 yards passing for the year.
And here comes the offense on second down. They'll give it to the back. And he is stopped behind the line, and that's how we'll finish the first quarter. We've come to the end of the quarter, and Western Michigan is on top. They largely dominated this first quarter as indicated by the stats. Just about ready to get things started here in the second. We'll see if they continue to flex that muscle. Now facing a third down as they come back to the line after the break. From the gun, wants to pass. Got his man quickly. And he'll be taken down, but he does have enough for the first down. And on that 3rd and short, I don't think he was unhappy to see that zone.
Nope, it's a great job by the offense. Hey, see where the holes in the zone are? Sit down. You only need a little bit of yards on this 3rd down. Get the conversion, move the sticks.
He's all the way down to the 3. An electric run has him set up.
Man, you cannot coach this to quarterbacks. Hard focus downfield, soft focus around you. As soon as he felt the lane, he was gone. No second guessing at all. That was picture perfect, and he uses his speed to just gash the defense.
Receiver looks it in, it's complete. He's down at the 1, and they almost had the touchdown pass on that one. Receivers telling the quarterback what they see. Looking to pass on 2nd down. Buying some time. He's got him in the flat. And they're able to get him on the ground.
They're just trying to sneak the back out to the right side there, but great job tackling on defense against a guy who's hard to bring down once he has the ball in his hand.
This offense has converted twice on 3rd down on this drive. A 3rd time would put him in the end zone. Touchdown, Cajuns! And they'll put that scoreboard operator to work and put 6 on the board.
The quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge. And also the anticipation, the time to be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone. That was a nice job by the quarterback.
Yeah, it's critical, David. Listen, a lot of times touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the coverage, hit the open guy, and let him do the rest.
Guys, we're about to get another look at this Western Michigan offense. They kicked a field goal on the last drive, Jesse. They've got the lead. Don't make a dumb mistake, but maintain your aggressive play calling.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think it's the play caller right now just taking a look at that script he's got in front of him and finding out where are my playmakers, who can we take advantage of on this defense to get a touchdown here, Dave.
Yeah, and just keep moving the ball down the field. Just execute a little bit better in the red zone. There's no need to panic. We're moving the football, and we got the lead.
This defense is going to have to be careful. Not only do they have to worry about this guy running the football, but they've got to keep their eye on him when he runs routes, too. He is a versatile back.
They'll snap it from the gun on 3rd down. Pressure coming. And there was nowhere to go for this quarterback, and down he goes. And the Broncos send out the punt unit. First one of the day is on its way. Didn't see a lot of him in that loss last week. Only called on once. Looking for running room. He'll get it to the 43-yard line before he stops. Here comes the Louisiana offense onto the field. They put it in the end zone the last time they had it, and now an opportunity to really take control of this game.
You can feel the momentum shifting, and if they were able to take the football here, drive it down the field, and score again, David, they would have all of that momentum on their side.
And there's nothing about momentum that you can quantify. Like, I don't understand it, but once it gets going in one direction, a lot of times it's so hard to swing it back the other direction. The momentum is real, and they got it.
Well, you haven't seen a lot of incompletions from this guy now in his last 2 games out. Completed over 70% of his throws last week. He's doing it again in this game. As a head coach, you got to love the fact that your quarterback is dialed in.
Gets it out quickly.
My old coach said you'll never go broke taking a profit. Take what's there, take the positive yards, and never complain.
From the gun, the ground game. The Ragin' Cajuns are stopped, but not before getting the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Here's the handoff. Nowhere to run on that when he loses 4 on the carry.
Well, good call by the defense there. They dialed up blitz into that running play, and the linebacker able to make the stop.
From the gun, the running back tries to hit the hole. Picked up maybe a yard. It's down at the 16. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. Safe completion on the screen. They play that screen nicely. He tried to find his way to the marker, but it'll be 4th down.
You got to love that. On defense, one of the most critical statistics out there is how do you play on 3rd down? How do you prevent the opponent from keeping drives alive? Right there, tackling the catch. You gave up the completion. Whoop-de-doo. You've set up 4th and long. You're going to get the ball back. Go get some water and celebrate.
On 4th down, trying to find his man. Incomplete, and the defense holds.
Nice job by the defense. Great pass defense, getting in the lanes, doing a really good job understanding they were going to throw the football in this 4th down. They played it well. Incomplete pass.
He's going to let it go. Makes the grab on the left side. Hit the gas, kid. Wide open ahead. And he'll take it to the house. He got loose. Touchdown, Broncos. Well, I'm not sure who was closer to the receiver there, the defensive backs or us here in the booth.
That was great execution on offense. Receiver wins the route one-on-one, shows off his speed, gets himself wide open. There was no question where the quarterback was going with that. Nice job.
Here's the return from inside his 10. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Louisiana has it back, and the Ragin' Cajun offense headed to the field. Getting late here in the first half, they'll have a chance to make this a one-possession game.
And the offensive play caller here has to really be dialed in. It's important, down 2 possessions, Dave, that they're able to score some points, and you got to call your best stuff in this 2-minute situation.
And such a good opportunity.
He lost it high and deep down the left side. And they wanted it all on that incomplete pass. Instead, they're looking at 3rd down.
When I'm an offensive coach, I'm going to take shots. I'm going to take those 50-50 balls, and most of the time I'm going to trust my wide receiver to come down with it. The defensive back said, no, sir.
This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Hit as he throws. Oh, what a grab by the defense. Looking for more room. Touchdown, Western Michigan. A great return for the touchdown. Any return for a touchdown is a great one to a defense. How efficient have they been as they extend this lead here in Week 5? We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
A lot of eyeballs on your game, guys, and a few on this interesting matchup as well. Oregon State has the lead right now, but this Reser Stadium crowd is restless. They just haven't been able to separate themselves yet today. They're up by 7 over the Coyotes. We'll circle back if anything big happens you need to know about.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. Pulls it, fired, complete. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. And the Ragin' Cajuns headed quickly to the line. Quarterback checking off. Off play action. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20. Timeout called here by the defense. It's the first one they've used this half. Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, backed up inside their 20. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. And it goes through his hands. Oh, he had an explosive play right there for the taking, but couldn't reel it in. The Ragin' Cajuns will line up to punt it away. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Western Michigan has it back as they send the offense onto the field. There's enough time left in the half here, David, to make something happen.
Dang right. I want to be aggressive. I'm not backed up in my own end. I can stay aggressive here. Try to get a field goal, Palmer. Try to get in range to get some kind of points before half.
Yeah, 2 biggest things are you got to protect the quarterback, and the QB cannot throw a pick here in this situation. If you do those 2 things, you got an opportunity here to steal some points.
Just can't pull the trigger, and the quarterback is sacked at the 41. The offense calls timeout. It's the second one they've used this half. On second down, he'll let it fly. Pulls it in. It's Santiago. And he'll be brought down. They'll immediately call timeout. So with only seconds left in the half, here comes the field goal unit. It's good, and that was dead solid perfect. And the field goal to end the half takes us to halftime. We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
All right, guys, looks like we've got a great atmosphere today in Lafayette. And we have to start this halftime breakdown by addressing the play of this elite wide receiver. This is clearly a young man who, once he's finished playing on Saturdays, he's going to be playing on Sundays. The kid has different gears. He has a knack for finding gaps in the defense. And I can't remember a college player with that kind of catch radius. And with that, let's send it back to the fellas inside Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium.
Broncos will kick it away to start the second half. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Able to find enough room to get it out across the 25. He's brought down at the 26. Here comes the Louisiana offense onto the field. They start this third quarter in a big hole, and they have to start climbing out right now.
And they're going to have to be really aggressive. Like this offense, when I'm playing from behind, every possession means so much more. And if you look the other side, the defense, they haven't given much resistance.
Yeah, nothing has gone their way in the first half offensively. And you know now, based on how this defense is playing with their confidence, that you are going to be challenged on every single snap. So buckle up, get your mind right, and get ready to come back in this game.
Now 2nd and 10. He's looking to throw. Got it set up on the outside. Turns it on in midfield. They'll make the stop, but not before they use the screen beautifully and pick up the first down.
Perfect play call against the perfect defense. They came with the blitz, and the offense had the screen pass called at the right time. Running back gets it in his hands. He's got linemen out in front, getting hats on hats. You can't do it any better than that.
Went to the running game on first down. Now here they come again. From the shotgun, the handoff to the back. Wrestled to the ground after picking up the first down.
Well, the defense is on their heels right now. They're going to have to find a way to stop this guy. When he's got a head of steam, boy, he is hard to bring down.
And the Ragin' Cajuns have their offense in high gear. From the gun, running back gets to give. And he finds some solid space, makes a nice game before the defense is able to stop him.
I know it's sexy to throw the football, but if you can pound it away and get these kind of gains, they will just add up, wear the defense down, get first downs, and ultimately get some points.
Quarterback checking the play. He's back to throw on second down. Out of the backfield, he's open. He knew exactly where he wanted to go with that one, and they've got enough for the first down.
And a great job by the QB finding the running back, getting the football where he can do some damage after the catch, and most importantly, get the first down.
The Ragin' Cajuns will line it up on 1st and 10. They'll throw it from the red zone. Zings it complete to the right.
Yeah, and I think you've just seen how the quarterback has so much confidence in this guy catching the ball too, right? Receivers aren't open, tight ends aren't open. He knows he can find him running out of the backfield, or if he lines up at wide receiver, this dude can get open, and he can make positive things happen after he has the ball.
Down to the 3-yard line, and that's where they'll have it 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. And he takes it to the house. Touchdown, Ragin' Cajuns. Now they'll line up for what they hope is automatic. Bangs it through for an extra point. So it's a 73-yard touchdown drive. And close the deal with a 3-yard touchdown run.
27, Louisiana, 14.
And he takes this from inside the 5. And the return man reaches the end of the line, and down he goes. Western Michigan offense ready to go back to work. Things have been clicking along nicely, Jesse, but they have to make sure they keep it up.
Yeah, they got to wake up. It seems like they've been a bit lackadaisical here the last few drives, maybe, as we've seen this lead dwindle a little bit, David. So they need a bit of a spark here to get that mojo back.
Yeah, and you always have the adjustments, and then your opponent adjusts, and now they got to readjust now because this game's getting a little bit tighter than they like.
One-step wrap, two-step squeeze. This junior knows how to get them on the ground. A 3rd and short coming from their own 20-yard line. They'll try to get it through the air. Got it in the middle. It's Murphy. They'll keep this drive moving by picking up the first down. They have it at the 36.
And it's tough on the defense there. 3rd down, you're in zone coverage. Everybody's watching the quarterback, and you're trying to make a break on the ball, but he just got it out of his hands too quickly, and the throw was too accurate. Really nothing you can do there, and it's now a fresh set of downs.
Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. He's looking to throw. Got him downfield. Just gashing this defense. A big gainer to the 40-yard line. This offense is like running a perfection drill in practice against air. Chunk play after chunk play, and here they come again. He wants to throw. Finds his man. It's Santiago. He's brought down. Solid pickup, but a little bit short of the 1st down.
I think really good wide receivers do a good job of making every route kind of look the same. You could tell this looked like a vertical route. So if I'm a DB, I'm bailing, and all of a sudden he sits that hitch down. Nice job by the wide receiver, creating enough separation to create a positive gain.
Inside the 15, 1st and 10 from the 14. Wide receiver coming across in motion. They're in the red zone, and they'll pass it. Buys a little extra time. And he avoids the hit and slides after the short gain.
Well, you're making a positive out of a negative. And that time, quarterback, nice job buying time. He's trying to throw the football downfield. Nothing there. So instead of throwing it away, getting the incomplete, just get what you can get and make this next down more manageable.
They'll get him stopped just short of the end zone, but they're in business here with the 1st down.
Well, that's great timing by the quarterback and receiver on that out route. If you're going to be running that against man coverage like they were there, that ball has to be thrown early, and it's got to be thrown out in front of the receiver, and they execute it perfectly.
Touchdown, Western Michigan! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house. He is such a dangerous weapon as a runner. It's almost as if it makes the defense tentative because they know the slightest of errors, and he's to the house.
No doubt about it. This is a guy that's going to hurt defenses throwing the football and running the ball as well, and stresses your defense in so many different ways. So this defensive coordinator now has got to find new ways to try and slow him down, contain him. You just got to get the ball out of his hands, because when he's got it, man, he can kill it.
Louisiana has it back, in the Ragin Cajun offense headed to the field. They're down by 21 points, but you get a touchdown here, and you do at least apply a little game pressure, Jesse.
It's true. I think for them to get back in this one at this point now, they need the quarterback to play his best football. He's going to have to be good really pre-snap, David, making sure they're in the right looks, and he's got to be really good with his decision-making.
He's got to be dialed in because defensive.
He's going to throw deep right side. He's got it downfield for a huge gain. Touchdown, Louisiana. He broke away from the defense, and they couldn't catch it.
What a massive play for the offense. And sometimes when you're calling it deep in your own end, you're expecting man coverage or at least a one-on-one to the outside of the field, and that's what they had. The quarterback put air under it. The receiver shows off his speed. They make the catch, and it's not just a big 1st down. It's a touchdown. That is a momentum-changing play.
Guys, we're about to get another look at this Western Michigan offense. And, David, how they would love to stick it in the end zone one more time after that last drive.
And once you get the defense on their heels and you back them off a little bit, you get in a little bit of rhythm, it's really hard to stop, Jesse, and they're going to try to do it again right here.
And if you're this play caller, you're loving what's happening right now because everything you dialed up on that last drive ended up working out. You're just looking at your play sheet. Everything you're picking is working. Let's see if they can pull it off again here.
Now facing a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Catch in the middle, it's Murphy. And they finally haul him down, but not before the good catch and run. And the Broncos come to the line with a new set of downs. And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody, based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. One more quarter to go, and it looks as if we are ready to play. First down to start the drive after the break. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will.
At this point of the game, the offense has the lead. The offensive coordinator knows they want to keep running the football. So he's going back, he's looking at his playlist, and he's saying, which runs work the best for me in this game? What can I lean on right here to make sure we win this one?
On second down, wants to throw. Fires to the wideout. Complete in the middle. And he almost ran away from everybody on that one. A huge pickup on that play.
You know what's interesting? At this point of the game, with the lead in the 4th quarter, the defense is expecting them to run the ball. And because they're putting so many guys close to the line of scrimmage.
Strong pass rush gets to the quarterback, and they get him at the 46.
You know, one of the things I hated as a quarterback was the blitzes from the inside linebackers because those guys end up in your hip pocket quickly. It's really hard to step into throws when you've got inside linebackers bringing the heat.
And they'll wrestle him to the ground after a short gain. 7th play of the drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. He uncorks one deep. He's got it inside the 15. Touchdown, Western Michigan. And once he found some daylight, it was time to make a house call. Things a little more comfortable after that score and much, much closer to a win here in Week 5.
There's no mercy rule in college football, man. They've got a huge lead here in the 4th quarter. They are still chucking it, and they are still scoring.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point splits the uprights, and they're up a full 3 touchdowns, a 21-point cushion in the 4th. They're just about ready to kick it away.
Louisiana, 21.
Looking for an alley from inside his own 10. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Here comes the Louisiana offense onto the field. Play on 1st down. An unforced error there. They don't get the snap off in time.
Delay of game. Offense.
That is a completely avoidable penalty. The quarterback just went into brain lock and lost track of the play clock. Offense getting set for 1st down. Quick touch pass to the receiver. Solid fundamentals on that tackle from this freshman. And the Ragin' Cajuns want to crank the tempo. On 2nd down, he'll fire. Blasted as he lets it go. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down. If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. Fires to the middle. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down.
It's a nice adjustment by the defense here. With a big lead in the game, you're putting extra DBs on the field, knowing the offense has to throw to get back in this one in the 4th quarter. So your best cover guys on the field, and they force an incompletion on the last one.
On 4th down, he'll try to toss it. Hit as he throws. That ball never had a chance, and they'll turn it over on downs. Western Michigan has it back as they send the offense onto the field. Line gets set, 1st down. They'll try the run. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. He rolls all the way down to the 5-yard line before they finally get him stopped.
Offense has a huge lead right now in the 4th quarter, and they're just going to run this football to try to ice the game, being more dominant, being more physical at the point of attack.
They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
It's going to be tough sledding for the offense here. They're trying to ice this game by running the football and bleeding the clock. They've got a pretty good lead here late in the game, but the deep...
And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12.
We just need better execution on offense right now. Not able to get it done on 1st down, and now they give up the sack. If you're the head coach right now, you might want to think about a timeout, make sure your guys have their minds right.
Needs to get it in the end zone on 3rd and goal. And he feels the heat coming, and it burns him up. Another sack. Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. Oregon State has the lead right now, but this Research Stadium crowd is restless. They just haven't been able to separate themselves yet today. They're up by 7 over the Coyotes. Any big developments in this one, we've got you covered with the best studio team in the business.
And the pass is intercepted. Takes it the other way. Touchdown Broncos. The defense puts 6 on the board with a big-time interception return.
Dude, you didn't think it could get any worse, right? You thought this game's over as it is anyways. Offense still throwing the football, still trying to make plays, and the defense just continues to pour it on, gets the pick, makes its way all the way to the end zone.
So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. They'll kick it off and send that defense right back out there to try to score again after the pick 6. Oh, he's going to take a chance. That's the kind of mistake that throws off your game plan. Come out of the end zone and you're stopped at the 8. The offense lining up for a 1st down play. Motion by the back forces the defense to adjust. He lobs one high down the left side. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have squeezed it. That incompletion leads to 2nd down and 10. Receiver on the move gets the touch pass. The defense wouldn't let him loose, and even though it's a completion, they lost yardage.
Got to give the defense credit. Watching film, anticipating. They knew that this offense had this play in their back pocket. They knew about the speed of this wide receiver and different ways they were going to try to get him involved.
And that is interception number 3 on the day. Knocked down quickly after the pick, but that offense says thank you very much, and they'll have it at the 43. Looking for a productive play on 1st down. Smart move to keep it on the ground. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. The defense calls the timeout. They're 2nd of the day as they try to get their act together. Give to the running back. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. And the quarterback bought some time, but not enough. Down he goes with the sack. The Broncos will punt this one away. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. there's not going to be a return on this one. Ball's out of bounds, and I think they'll mark it right around the 25. Louisiana has it back, and the Raging Cajun offense headed to the field. After throwing the pick on the last drive, need to take care of the ball this time, Jesse.
We're going to find out a lot about this quarterback right here, too. How does he fight through adversity after that last drive?
Yeah, clear the mechanism, move on. That's a part of it, right? If you're going to be a great player, you got to learn how to handle these mistakes and move on.
He's going to pass. Working that left side now. He's run out of bounds, but not before turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down. His offense lines up feeling awfully good after that big play. Looking to go up top on first down. Snags it. And he was pushing for that goal line, but the D stopped him at the 2. The Raging Cajuns will hustle to the line. They really got this offense humming. Just a 4th play of the drive, and it's 1st and goal. They want to throw it. And he'll take it in for the touchdown. It won't have much impact on the outcome of the game, but it is a fabulous parting gift, a consolation prize, if you will. In a lot of losses, you just want to burn the tape. You don't want to watch it. But I think there's some things that they can take into next week from this performance.
No doubt. Offense is about finding your rhythm, finding your groove, what you do well. And you can tell, at least now, starting to get a little something going that maybe you can build on.
Well, great job by the hands team receiving there. They're able to spot the kick, fall on it, make sure they keep possession, secure it. Nice job.
With the game in hand, the offense choosing to just have the quarterback take a knee. It has been said that the obstacle is the way, and this obstacle is now back-to-back losses.
Back-to-back L's. It's not the end of the world, though. I still think there's time for this team to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to finish the season strong. It's not over yet. 2 bad weeks. Flush it down the toilet. Refocus the mechanism. We're ready to rock and roll next week.
It just needs to be about finding a way to win a game right now. In all likelihood, 99.9% chance the college football playoff now is not a possibility anymore. That's okay. Let's worry about winning a game. Let's go back. Let's watch the film. Let's get back to being who we are so we can get this ship right.
So that's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis saying so long. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.